Life, death, and life. This to me is always the message of Easter. Life, death, and life. It is a message for life. It is a message about life. It's a truth about life. This is Roger from the MSC Mission Office, and you're with Mission Alive. During the time of Lent, we walk with Jesus in his life, and at the same time we reflect on our own life to see what we need to change, how to improve, how to move forward in our life. At this time on Palm Sunday, we start to focus on the time of Easter, what we call the Triduum, the 3 days, Holy Thursday, Good Friday, the suffering on, and Saturday, Sunday, when he rose early in the morning. The time of his death, and then in the resurrection, the new life. But the whole thing, the life, the death, and the life is one event, one thing. We just celebrate it over a period of time in different ways. But it emphasizes to us the life, the death, and the life. And it is a fact of life all around us. Jesus spoke of the lilies in the field. He spoke of trees. He spoke of seasons. And in this, there's life and there's death. Here where I am, we constantly have a work to clean up the leaves. The leaves fall off the trees because they die. As much as I can, I mulch them and put them in the garden, where they completely die, and they give life again to plants and to worms and to whatever else lives in the soil. That is a message of life. And other things I see around us here, often branches on trees die and fall down and break. A couple of months ago, we had out the front of our place a huge branch of a pine tree cracked and fell down. It was a big work to clean it up. Those pine trees, which were great, majestic looking trees, they're dying. They're 130 years old. They've got borers and they've got other sicknesses in them. They will die. A fact of life. But in those areas, I'm already replanting other trees that will grow tall. So in nature, we constantly have life and death, and then new life. Often trees break and fall down, and from the roots and from the trunk, new life comes. We've seen bushfires and droughts and floods, and in that there's death. Death of trees, environment, etc., etc. But constantly, new life comes back again. Farmers often have floods all over their property, and then that actually fertilizes the ground, a lot of silt, and in the coming years they might have bumper crops. So that's the way of it. And in the world, wars, disasters, destructions, everything. And constantly out of that comes good, comes life. And even in the middle of disaster, people can celebrate. I remember seeing a clip years ago in the Second World War where there were English troops facing the Germans across the trenches, and it was Christmas. So somehow messages went backwards and forwards. They all put down their guns and they came out and greeted each other for Christmas, and somebody produced a soccer ball. So they had an impromptu soccer game there, right on the battlefield. In the middle of the disaster of that, you get people enjoying a game, enjoying each other's company. So life, death, and life. So as we go through this week, we think of that. Now, this day, Palm Sunday, Jesus rides in on a donkey into Jerusalem. in triumph. People were rejoicing and hailing him. And it must have been a high moment for Jesus. As a human being, he must have thought, wow, this is great, you know. And he would have felt joy, and his apostles certainly did. Now, Jesus knew in that he was pushing the bar with the authorities. Maybe he was stepping over a line out of which would come the suffering and the confrontation with the authorities. But I think he would have enjoyed the moment, would have enjoyed the fact that people recognised him and his mission, and in that recognised the Father. And he would have been happy with the moment. He would have smiled and laughed, and he would have waved and probably embraced the children, but knew that this would certainly bring about a final confrontation with the authorities, which we will see in the coming days. Live life to the full. Live the death to the full. Enter into all the aspects of life. That is our mission as Christian people. And that's what we invite you on during these days. Live the joys, live the sorrows, live the grief, live the triumphs.